Good evening, good afternoon. This is Harry from Spurs TV, and today I've got Eugene with me. Eugene, you alright?
Yeah, doing well. Right. I guess waiting for the game coming up soon. So let's see how that goes.
And Hardeep, back on the channel. Yeah. Hardeep is one of my favorite opposition fans. I've got to be honest with you. This guy speaks sense, and he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, when it comes to football, your analysis is like really good. So if you don't follow, is it HD United Stand? Go subscribe to it.
That's right.
First now, yeah. So if you're going to subscribe to it. So Hardeep, how you doing, anyways? Like,
do you know what, Harry? I'm doing really well, thank you. Especially with it being nearly towards the end of summer, it's a good feeling that Premier League football is back. And overall, it's an absolute pleasure to be here for my second time on the channel.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, we're going to get stuck into the weekend's game. I think this banner kind of goes for both sides. But so first of all, what do you think of United's game against Wolves?
To sum it up quickly, I thought it was quite lethargic. I think in our transitions, we lacked an identity. If you look at Mason Mount as well, he was actually free roaming up and higher the pitch with Bruno Fernandes, leaving Casemiro isolated on his own. And I think in the midfield, we lack that stability, creativity, and also consistency. Not to mention ball retention, if you're looking from Ten Hag's point of view. I think personally, what right now we need to actually build on our sharpness and also our fluidity in tackle. Obviously, Rashford being our only outlet, yes, better striker, and that's due to Haaland being out. Haaland, unfortunately, has a back injury. And I feel with Martial, he's very inconsistent up front. So I think with Rashford right now, he will definitely be starting in preparation for the Tottenham game. But I think with result aside, to get the 3 points against Wolves, who are really, really aggressive and really counter-attacking from that point of view, were really, really impressive. I think from the transition point of view, on the O'Neill, they were so unbelievable that they could have got a win. Unfortunately, we got it in the end because he could go from Farrell ran. Lovely cross from Wan-Bissaka, and we just sealed all three points.
So I watched part of the game as well, and I thought Wolves were really unlucky not to get anything out of it, if I'm being honest. Were you worried by the way United sort of defended? Because obviously...
Harry, just ask him the question. Was it a penalty?
Yeah.
Just ask him the question, right? Don't tell him. Was it a penalty? I mean,
I thought it was a penalty.
I mean, you saw the match, right? If you were there, right? I mean, if you were the referee, and let's say you're the referee, if you were in the VAR room, right? Would you see it as a penalty?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely see that as a penalty. I think it was clearly unintentional from Onana, but he actually lacked the focus and not especially concentration when actually coming out of the box, and also trying to actually catch the ball. But overall, that's clearly an obvious error, and also that should be a penalty, without doubt.
Okay.
I mean, I was
lucky, right? Lucky to get that 3 points. And to tell the truth, right, I think Harry and I we were quite surprised with Wolves' performance, because we were thinking that Wolves will go there and you guys will just hum them, and then it'd be like 3-4-0 and oh, bye-bye. They put up a fight.
I think with Wolves is their midfield is very underrated. Their midfield three, and then obviously they have wingers, backs, or full, whatever you want to call it. And Gary O'Neill's obviously come in because Lopetegu's left, which I was quite surprised about, if I'm being honest. I thought he did a decent job last season. But Gary O'Neill was almost, because of his success at Bournemouth, had a promotion with Wolves, if you can think about it that way, because he was the last person I expected to get that job. And yeah, I think they were dominated the game in a lot of phases, which surprised me, especially United were at home. With Onana, I've got my own opinions about Onana. So what do you think of him as because obviously he's replacing De Gea, right? So do you think it's an upgrade? Do you trust him? And then I'll say my piece afterwards, because I have my own opinions about Onana.
Well, yeah, I think with Onana, stylistically, he fits standards, and also the actual profile of what Erik ten Hag needs. Obviously, De Gea, he was quite outdated when actually pressing and also progressing out of the back as well. I think with De Gea, and some of the inadequacies, such as his ball retention in and around the penalty area, his actual ball progression ability to actually spring long passes. And I feel with his physicality to not actually come off his line quickly and proactively, that would definitely harm us during that season. I think with Onana, you will certainly see a different way of how United progress from out back. And ultimately it's down to technicality rather than midfield as well. If you look at Mount, he lacks that physical presence, not to mention that technical awareness. I think with Bruno, he's without a doubt a really good number 10. I think he can't play as number 8. He's ideally number 10. And our only attacking outlet has to be Rashford, not to mention Anthony, Garnacho, and obviously Højlund. Lots more, of course, but from a defensive point of view, if you look at it from the stability point of view, the centre defensive midfield is so important. And Casemiro, he is that epitome of a really, really great CDM. So ideally, right now, if you look at the end of the transfer window approaching us, we definitely need someone like Amrabat who's very physical, a warrior, and who has an elite mentality to win. Not to mention, he can actually progress the ball in that transitions.
Interesting. So with Onana, I've got to be honest, I watched a lot of him at Ajax because a few years ago Spurs were actually linked with him. And I think I don't know how to explain this. He could do moments of absolute like incredible things, like his saves or just sometimes. But sometimes he just does some really crazy things. And what I noticed when we played him in the Champions League is he'll just run out or he'll take the ball out and you're sitting there and you're watching him like, please don't do this. Like as in his ball retention or what you're trying to say or his playmaking thing, like it's good, but I just feel like his decision making when he's doing it is a bit iffy. But I'd say our goalkeeper's not that much better either in that sort of sense so far. So, but like Onana, I think he could either like win you the game or lose you the game. It depends on like. So, but what do you thought of him? Were you keen on him or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it from a tactical point of view, obviously with Onana, of course he has his own issues, such as maybe his erratic personality, how charismatic he can be. But with Onana, he's definitely one of the best modern goalkeepers in the world currently. He has to be up there with Alisson, Neuer when he's obviously fit as well, Ter Stegen, Ramsdale to a certain degree, probably rare. And even if you look at Manchester City's point of view, Edison's actually a fantastic goalkeeper, and I think with Onana, if we get the right support around him, such as great technical ability and also really good first-place players in and around the box, in specifically the midfield area, there is no doubt that we can become a really great attacking outlet.
Interesting. So,
What about Harry Maguire? Do you think he'll get a chance to stay, or are you guys going to really get rid of him? Because he looks like he doesn't want to leave. He's your version of our Eric Dyer.
I think Dyer's worse, but anyway.
I know. I mean, he doesn't want to leave.
The thing is with Maguire, he's very egotistical. He overhypes himself, and no doubt he's a decent centre back, but not the level required at our club. Martinez, Varane, they're instantly our best centre back choices alongside with North, but I think with Maguire, he has got to go. I think personally, if he doesn't necessarily get a move in next coming weeks, he's going to be on the bench. He's going to be regressing his own career by getting this significant amount of wages and also just preserving his own greed. I think without a doubt, he's a really good centre back and potentially a really good pragmatic setup. But what Erik ten Hag is building, it doesn't necessarily fit their profile. Ideally, we need to get rid of him. If you look at what happened to Ronaldo when he spoke out about the issues in around about November time, why can't we just release Maguire as well? Don't compare Ronaldo and Maguire. Ronaldo's instantly one of our greatest players, and without a doubt, the goal greatest of all time. Well, to a certain degree, he could be. Obviously, with Messi, without a doubt, he's absolutely fantastic. Even with terms of quality, Ronaldo actually has to be up there too. But go back to Maguire. He has to go. He has to be released. He's not good enough.
I don't understand, right? Because if I was Maguire, I would go, because if I'm not going to be guaranteed game time with Manchester United, right, my chances of making the next year's Euros, right, is like close to none. Why doesn't he think about that part, right? I mean, West Ham came in for him, and for some weird reason he didn't want to go. I don't even know why he didn't want to go. I mean, West Ham could be in a decent team for him, because how would you say, Moyes is he plays more defensive kind of football.
Deep
defensive football.
Really
needs speed, right? And I think Ten Hag is more like how I call a progressive kind of football, right? You have to be up and down as like what we are doing now with our line of defense, right? We sit up high, and you sit up high. Maguire doesn't have the speed to get back, which is the same thing like our Eric Dyer doesn't have speed to get back. right? That's why we started with even we'll call a 22-year-old untested player player this Sunday against Brentford, right? But the thing is that I feel very weird about Maguire. If you get a chance, you go, because at least you get a chance to play, and then put your hat into the. I mean, put your name into the hat for a chance to get in to play in the Euros, unless he's just decided he's going to retire.
Gonna retire.
Do you know what? That's true, actually, Eugene. I mean, the thing is with Maguire as well. If you look at the emergence of Colwell, Colwell will no doubt overtake him next year if he continues that great form for Chelsea, or if he does eventually leave. He will definitely replace Maguire next year. But I don't really trust Southgate as an England supporter myself. But ideally, if you're looking from a long-term point of view, he's ideally a good fit for the England national team. He brings that balance as a left-sided centre-back. And also he's left-footed, well balanced for what John Stones needs. Maguire, however, his place is essentially in jeopardy, and he needs to think about his own career, irrespective of who he is.
I didn't want to bring up this question, but there was breaking news before we started this. I don't know if you probably know what I'm talking about, but Mason Greenwood. Yeah, so obviously I read the statement before we came on. Do you think he's going to stay? Do you think the club are going to get rid of him? I don't know if I'm going to cancel for asking these sorts of questions. What do you believe? Maybe we can say it without actually saying it. I don't know.
I think the most likely decision in regards to Mason Greenwood is that he'll stay without doubt. And there's so many controversies around the social media side of things, and also how our fans think as well from their perception. If you look at women's rights as well, with Women's World Cup as well, that's actually be really, really bad timing considering an announcement that
I didn't think of that. Inevitable. Yeah.
And also, I think from a women football point of view, it's really, really, really toxic, and it's quite ludicrous in how United have actually handled this. Respectfully, Greenwood, he shouldn't be at the club anymore. He should be released. And also, morals are not really existing in football anymore. Take this account. I think with morals, they need to be utilised correctly. If you aren't utilising them correctly, you'll create that unstable environment, and also you will create a lot of backlash. Simple as that. He needs to go.
Yeah. Okay. Because I did have a chat with Harry about this Greenwood thing in the back room, but I don't think I don't think
we can actually mention that sort of
stuff on here. I'm going to say live on the screen, right? But to tell the truth, right? If you let him go, would you think that he will get a chance in another club? Are you just saying that because of this incident, that whatever has happened, right? And even though he's been exonerated legally, right? That wouldn't that kill the boy's career? He wouldn't be able to play football in any other club anymore. You get what I'm saying, right? Unless he wait. Of course, he'll go to the Saudi league. Yeah.
To be fair, if you're watching this and you need a striker, I'm here.
Go for Hazard. Go for Hazard.
I'll take the money. You guys won't see me for like 2 years. Did you know they tried to get Osimhen? Did you hear they tried to get Osimhen for like 100-something million? Yeah.
If they got the money, they're trying to get whoever they want to get, right? But it's their money, so it's up to them how they want to spend it. No, but I'm saying it's a beautiful thing, whatever happened to him. But he's a young boy. He's like, if you're at the end of your career, right? 29, 30 years old, you can say, okay, it doesn't matter. But he's in the beginning of his career. Like, he's only, 19, 20 now? 20 years old.
I think he's 22 now. He's 22 years old.
22 years old.
He's very young, isn't he?
Yeah. He's very young, right? So, I don't know. Mistakes you make in life comes to bite you in the butt. That's all.
So it's a good segue for my next question, actually. So obviously you guys signed Holland. Is that how you say it? Holland?
Yes, Holland.
Sorry. It's Holland. Okay, sorry. So he didn't play in the first game as a starter, at least. Who do you think is he injured?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know they signed him injured.
Yeah, he's injured. Yeah. Yes.
All right. So who do you expect to start up front for United against Tottenham? Because you obviously have Rashford, you have Martial, apparently. I mean, Weghorst has gone now, though. Is he not on loan anymore?
So.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
so who do you expect to play?
I think with Erik ten Hag, his questions in regards to what he is actually going to do up front, I think he will probably most likely start Rashford as a vocal number 9, despite his left wing situation. being much more better. If you look at Rashford point of view, I think with Rashford, he is much more effective on the left-hand side rather than being the main attacking outlet. He can't hold the ball. He's not really intelligent in around the box as well. He doesn't really suit against a low block or even high pressing team. I think with Rashford, ideally, he should be starting left. I actually saw Jadon Sancho as a false nine. I think Sancho as a false nine would be really excellent. I think we'll actually pull the defenders, be really intricate around the box, help lots of Bruno, potentially Mal, even Anthony, likewise Rashford in our transitions. I think with Sancho, one of the stars as false nine. I think if you look at Erik ten Hag's past tenure at Ajax, during his around second season, he started Dusan Tadic as false nine. And look how efficient that was in playing sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking because if you don't have an out-and-out striker, right? But if your wings, I mean, if you do put Rashford on the wings, right? And let's say if you put him on the left, you're going against Emerson Royal. It's an easy job there. So,
are you guys still in the market for a striker, Hardy? Are you guys still looking at another striker, or is it that's it?
I think that's it. I mean, if you look at Martial, he's still here. If we got rid of him, that could possibly increase our chances of getting a striker. So, with Martial potentially staying, that will probably hinder our own chances. And if we do announce Greenwood in no time, the club itself will definitely portray it as no time.
Yeah, I know you guys want a Harry Kane, but too bad he's going to Bayern Munich. Yeah.
I'm surprised. We spoke about this before. Remember, I'm surprised United didn't make a massive bid for him. If I'm being honest.
But come on, you think Manchester United is going to put 150 million pounds on Levy's face to get Harry Kane? I don't think so, right?
After the Berbatov stuff, remember the Berbatov stuff, Eugene?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then he'll drag on to the last minute of transfer window. At 10:59 on the 1st of September, Harry Kane joins Manchester United. Yeah, and then our fan base will just go on a meltdown by then.
Interesting. So. As a consequence of that, because obviously you were saying about Rashford, Martial, players like that, I was looking at obviously the way United played against Wolves, and like I said, surprisingly, you guys didn't have much of the possession, even though obviously you want progressive play. Do you think with Spurs changing style, being more possession based, do you think United will try and just hit us on the break?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think United will be really transitional, and I think that's what Erik ten Hag's trying to mold into these players. If you look from mentality point of view, the physicality, technicality, the way we progress the ball, the way we transition from defence to attack, that's ideally the game plan, and also the tactical output of what ten Hag is trying to implement. I think with the profile of players he lacks obviously a deep line playmaker. Of course, if we got De Jong, that would have been nail on the head, unfortunately.
Oh, you're turning to Spurs, right? Chasing after a player for 2 years and still can't get him.
Hardy, I was hearing about his name every day at work because as a United fan I work with.
Last season.
If I said this to him every day in the summer was, I would get into Young, and I'm like, when's this going to end? It's like every day.
Manchester United on the break, right? Do you think that Howard will sit back and let us control possession and try to break you down, or you see it's going to be more like it's going to be a back and forth game. We're going to get one and you're going to get one, back and up and down. How do you see that?
I think with our approach to the game, I think from a stylistic point of view, I'd say with United, I don't really see us being really compact, really pragmatic in the sense. I think with United, I could see them maybe deploying into mid-block formation, pressing them hard on pitch, keeping compact now possession, and also keeping balance in and around the box. I think with United, they can certainly cause an upset, but I think with you guys, if you actually become much more clinical and front go, you will definitely beat us. But defensively, we are quite strong. But with Martinez being out, that could be an issue.
I think we're going to beat you. No, how do you think we're going to beat you?
Possibly think not. I think if you be clinical, you could possibly.
Yeah, but we don't have a striker now. We sold it.
We don't have a striker. How are we going to be clinical? Have you not seen the Brentford game? None of the front trees put any balls behind the net, right? Our defenders scored the goals.
It's fair. I think with your atmosphere as well, your atmosphere will be really key as well. Even though you've lost a significant amount of games there as well, I think that would definitely determine the outcome of the game. If you look at last season when we drew 2-2 to you, I think the intensity of the fans and also the hostile atmosphere actually impacted us. despite getting a draw. I think ultimately, if we were to beat you, it'd be a crucial result. But I think I could see it being a draw personally.
Oh, that's true.
Really? Oh, interesting.
A draw would be a positive result for me as I see it.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
here he is.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up.
How you doing, Oris?
Not bad, man. Looking forward to this game. Ange Postecoglou versus Ten Hag. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Oh, that's good. How's Albania?
Not bad.
You're in Albania?
I'm scouting for players if they want to come to United or Tottenham, so I'm still scouting for some.
Just keep an eye out for a right back, centre back, striker,
number 6,
holding midfielder. Yeah. What else do we need?
What I'm going to say is we need to sign Amrabat as soon as possible because our midfield is absolutely shocking, man. We let Wolves run past our midfield like that, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But Oris, what do you think about the game? Yeah, what do you think is going to happen?
For me, if United start fast, we win this game. If we play like Wolves, we get destroyed. So we have to play fast. We need to start the game fast.
I can't ask you this question. Mason Mount?
No words.
No, but how the words either? What is correct, right? Your midfield is weak, and at the moment now, our midfield is strong, right?
Yeah, it's the one place we're strong at. Yeah.
And attack.
Yeah, Mount for me, I've never been a massive Mason Mount fan.
Why do you think Ten Hag signed him though, Oris? Because I thought it was baffling to me.
I think it's the energy that he gives, really, the energy and the pressing.
Yeah.
The pressing.
I could do that.
Right, come on, man. We need
I've got energy.
But yeah, listen, me and Hardy got energy, man. But no, listen.
Bellerbrook fresh.
I'm looking forward to it, to be fair, because Basuma, listen, he was cooking against Brentford, man. Basuma was lively. And listen, man, Mickey van der Ven as well, listen, man. It could be Mickey Mouse versus us, so let's see, man. Let's see. So, but no, United have to be up for it. And in all honesty, I do not want to see Rashford play as a striker in this game. I want to see Sancho, false 9, Rashford in his position, and Anthony. So yeah, listen, I'm hoping for a great game. I think we'll win. Obviously now because Kane's gone now. So yeah, I don't know how you feel, Harry, but Kane's gone. So yeah, listen, I'm hopefully our away form needs to be fixed up this season, man. Because last season it was absolutely horrendous. So it needs to be on it this season. And listen, I'm gonna back the manager. And obviously with the news that came out today, I'm not even gonna talk about it on your stream. But yeah, listen.
No, we already kind of spoke a bit about it, but. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I've never ever wanted him back to United, but yeah, listen, it is what it is, man. Money over morals for me. So yeah, listen. But now Tottenham, man, you guys look lively on the Postecoglou. If I'm being honest, like the football, there's clear style of play on the Ange. So yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, Oris, our clear style of play is holding possession and not scoring. And letting him go.
Listen, if you guys want Maguire, he's available.
Oh, he'll revolutionize.
No. Yeah, exactly.
25.
Wait. Unless we do a swap, we give you Dyer.
Wait. United fans that were overhyping John Murty, because there's no midfielder updates. Mason Green, John Murty is the one that wants Mason Greenwood back. So I don't really get the hype for me. So yeah.
No, but Ores, if you want to give us Maguire, right, you have to take Dyer off our hand. Straight swap.
That's the trade, the only trade you'll do.
Yeah. But no, listen, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, Hardy, but I'm looking forward to the Spurs game, man. I'm really hopefully we need to play better, man. We need to play better. We can't just play like how we did against Wolves, so yeah.
But I need to ask you guys, right? Is it because this season is Ten Hag's first full season? Is it his second full season or first full season?
Second.
His second full season here, right? And he's made a lot of changes, all right?
Yeah.
He's brought in players which he can't use yet. You know, that Højlund is injured. You don't have a out and out striker. Right?
Højlund,
yeah.
Don't worry, I get it wrong all the time.
Højlund, right, is injured and he can't use him. And then you brought in Mount. Okay, he's gone. Yeah. And you brought in, this had it, right? You brought in Mount, right? And Mount has to get used to the Ten Hag way, right? And at the moment now, with all this drama going around, and then of course you got Onana, a new goalkeeper which has to get used to. I mean, not to get used to Ten Hag, to get used to the Premier League way, because he can't come out rushing and smacking people wherever he wants. He might get away with it one time, but he's not going to get away with it the next time, you see, right? So I think there's a bit of like what you said earlier, Hadid, the stability of the players are still not there yet, right? But you guys had quite a good pre-season, right? You played a lot of good teams along the way, right? Not like Spurs. We played 1.5 games for pre-season. Okay, 1.5 games, 1 game against Barcelona, and that's it. 1.5 games in Asia, and 1 game against Barcelona. So I still think that we are still in our pre-season now. I thought the Brentford game is a pre-season game, right? This Manchester United game is going to be another pre-season game for me.
That's true. And also, don't forget, during your first pre-season as well, you've actually won the trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, we had a Tiger Cup, yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Tiger Cup.
Tiger Woods Cup.
Oh. No, not the Tiger Woods Cup. It's a Tiger Beer Cup, right? So, big up to the beer drinkers, yeah.
I'm also a beer drinker as well, but I do drink occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah.
So, Hardy, if you remind me, you signed Mason Mount, Onana, who else? Holland, and anyone else, or am I missed?
That's it so far. So
what are your thoughts on new signings on the whole? Can go through each of them, and obviously you touched on Onana earlier, but if you want to say anything else.
Yeah, also, I think with Onana, from a communication point of view, I think he'll be really, really impressive. If you look at De Gea as well, he wasn't as vocal as Onana. I think, well, right now, if you look at it from a body language point of view, his communication with Paul was just really, really strong, and there's clearly chemistry, and that would without doubt improve. And also with that personality, he'll bring that leadership qualities, he'll bring the charisma, the enthusiasm we lack, and also that consistency we need in order to win trophies. And I think if I also move on to Mount as well, his athleticism might be a really good trait, but also his energy must be the biggest trait that Erik Ten Hag actually likes.
Is Ten Hag using him as a box-to-box midfielder, or is he using him as a number 10?
I think with Ten Hag, he's definitely sees him as a number 8 /
Because I've always seen him as a number 8, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't think he has the creativity to really play, unless he's playing in like a Delhi role. I don't think he has the creativity to really play in that position higher up the pitch. Yeah.
But you can also do this. I mean, you could possibly swap him and Bruno around. I mean, Bruno is a really good, capable ball carrier, despite losing it in really, really bad areas. So I think with Bruno, does this possession quite a lot, but he can distribute the ball and also collect it excellently whenever possible. I feel with what we need in the midfield is another deep line playmaker / CDM. Ideally, someone like Amrabat, who I actually regurgitated quite a lot throughout the show, and without he had a bad season during Chelsea's since that season as well, and from his standards, it was really, really abysmal. Could he be rejuvenated in the other areas or not? That's a possibility, but it's ultimately down to his mentality and whether he can deliver. Moving on to Holland too. I think Holland, he's definitely one for future, an excellent prospect. Scored around about over 10 goals last season, including 2 assists, if I'm not making a mistake, for Atlanta and also Denmark national team. I think with Holland, he's got the great potential to become a really good striker, and it's about consistency. And of course, we haven't seen him yet, but once he does actually start, and once he actually adapts to the Premier League, and once he actually thrives in the round box, we'll definitely see his skill sets. And he's still only 20 years old. I think Ten Hag can actually develop him into a really, really good prospect.
Do you think that, because he's only, you said 20, right? So is he going to be a starter? Is he, okay, do you think there's a lot of pressure on him to come in at that age to try and be the United's first choice striker?
Yeah, absolutely. Without doubt, there's so much pressure on him as well. If you look at the era we're in right now, modern era in comparison to the early 2000s as well, it's just significantly different. I think with mentality of footballers nowadays, they're more focused on social media and brands, whereas during around about 20 years ago, they were focused on their own development to improve from mentality and also physical point of view. He does have a similar mentality to Ronaldo. I'm not alluding to the fact that he is similar to Ronaldo, but if he works hard, he could potentially become as good as Ronaldo, or maybe similar.
Okay, I got a question for you, Hadid, right? What if Ten Hag gets into a bad run of games, and he ain't getting the results on the board and all that, and this is pre-Europe. You guys haven't even started your Champions League travels yet, right? And you're not getting the points onto the board. Do you think your fans will give him a chance, or do you think they will start to revolt against him?
You can never trust the fan base as well. Look what happened to Mourinho, Solskjaer. Solskjaer, respectfully, he had to go as well, even with Van Gaal, Moyes, especially with the treatment of Ragnick as well. Ragnick should have stayed. If you look at the regime of our ownership and also board, they're still incompetent in terms of how they operate on off pitch. And I think with what's going to happen right now is that Erik ten Hag will possibly deliver a really good season. I think with the fan support, I know they were certainly supporting. You obviously get a minority who will obviously turn against him, but I think certainly with Erik ten Hag, I have full faith that he will definitely turn this around.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because obviously with Moyes, I felt sorry for him. Even though I didn't rate him, I felt sorry because he came in straight after Ferguson, and he was never going to live up to the hype. I actually thought United should have gone. I probably said this about a million times on a million different streams. Gone for some a bit more experience, which is like 1 or 2 years, for like 2 years, like an Ancelotti or just 2 years, and then that'll give them the time to try and find someone like long term, like they've done obviously eventually done with Ten Hag. But I kind of felt like bringing someone like Moyes and expecting to stay 10 years, like Fergie did, was a big ask. Yeah.
Oh, it was actually. If you look at the decision made by Sir Alex Ferguson, without doubt, he's definitely one of the greatest managers of all time, if not the greatest British manager.
I think he is the greatest in my opinion.
But I absolutely agree.
For the Premier League era, nobody will beat him, right? I mean, the amount of Premier Leagues that he's won, right? That one you can never touch him with that. But the thing is that maybe Sir Alex maybe sabotaged Manchester United.
It's also because he kept remaking teams. That's what I think made Ferguson so.
No, but the thing is that luckily, to tell you the truth, right? Moyes didn't stay long. You're lucky because now you watch how West Ham play, right? Moyes ball, sit back, counter attack. I don't think
transition.
You guys ain't gonna buy that, I guess. So you're like Spurs fans, right? You want the attractive football, right, and win things, right? But we Spurs fans get attractive football and win nothing.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Unless you get new ownership.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So on the flip side, Hardeep, because I mean you just spoke about this already. What have you thought of Spurs' new signings and Ange's new style in terms of? Do you think the new signs will fit into the style? Do you think, just in general, what have you thought of Tottenham? I don't know if you watched your Brentford game, so. Yeah.
I saw the highlights and also analysed some aspects of the game, such as maybe snapshots of the actual tactical breakdowns. But I think with what Ange is trying to actually implement, I think there's clearly a vision of Tottenham as well. Is it going to be consistent, dependent on leaving and also Enoch, the ownership model? Of course it will be. And I think with your additions so far this summer, you wanted Raya in the start of summer, but obviously you couldn't finalise it. But you got Rosario, who's a really good goalkeeper without a doubt, and I think he will slot in really well in the Premier League. But you've still got Hugo Lloris at club, and also if you look at Højbjerg,
Lloris going to Lazio apparently today.
They're negotiating a deal for Lazio Lloris at the moment,
and Højbjerg could be on his way out to Atletico, I think. So
hard to say. If they come in with the right amount of money, then he'll be gone. I think. Levy wants about £45 million for him, but I think
45 for Højbjerg.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. But Madrid is coming in with a 30 million, so we're
I'll
way
take
off.
that.
To tell the truth, I'll take that 30 million. We made a profit on him, double the money. But I don't know. Let's see how that goes. But what you're saying is true, right? But Vicario, to tell the truth, if Lloris is gone, we still need a backup goalkeeper, because you're talking about you're gonna trust. We gotta put our trust in Foster. That's one thing, but I think at the moment now Foster is injured, so if something happens to Vicario, right, we have to go back to our academy goalkeepers. That's the scary part is we're gonna have
Austin
now. And Alfie
Whiteman.
Risk.
That's huge risk, actually. Absolutely huge risk.
Were you surprised we didn't get? Because I don't know if United were looking at him too, but David Raya has gone to Arsenal. Were you surprised Spurs didn't sign him instead of this Vicario?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the links during the start of the window as well, you were concretely linked with Raya as well. You were very close to signing them. Brentford wouldn't budge on a price tag, and also the terms of the deal didn't actually be agreed. So I was actually very surprised. It would have been a really competent signing for Tottenham from your perspective as well, and I think he's going to do well at Arsenal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll start over Ramsdale? I know we're talking about something completely different.
I think I think Arteta would definitely face Mount. He would definitely face Ramsdale without a doubt, and then
I think
Raya
Raya's
would
a
become
better
the one.
keeper, if I'm being honest. But
No, I think Raya will be tested. I mean, will be used, I think, during the cup games in the beginning, right? And let's see whether Ramsdale has any faults in him. If he does have the faults, then maybe, Arteta will just flip them, put Raya into the league games and Ramsdale into the cup games. Don't forget, I mean, you guys have got Europe and we don't. So I guess at the moment, maybe that's why we're more relaxed on the goalkeeper front, because I think maybe goalkeepers don't get injured too easily, right? Hopefully, apart from, our Lloris always gets injured, weird injuries that he gets, right? So, but he's not going to be here. Hopefully, we can come to a deal with Lazio, because I'm not sure whether it's going to be a loan deal, whether it's a full sale, whether it's going to,
if it's a
loan,
sale, isn't it?
If it's a full sale, then I don't know how much. Because always remember, if it's a full sale, Levy will want something like 20 million pounds,
Even though he's like 30 something with a year left.
But then one day maybe I don't know, maybe it'll turn out to be a 2 million or 3 million or 5 million pound contract thing. But if Lazio has the money to pay, they'll pay. But the thing is that if he's gone, I'm like I said earlier, I'm worried because we only got Vicario. I would have loved it if we brought in Raya and Vicario.
I would too,
Yeah, Raya and Vicario, that would be a perfect kind of scenario for us, right? To see actually whether Vicario could be used, to be tested, to be, not be tested during league games, right? At least, given
phase him in
slowly, right? But
I've got a pretty good solution. I've got a solution as well. We've got Dean Henderson in the club, and he's ideally number one.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you about Dean Henderson. Yeah, what about Dean Henderson for you guys? Right?
Yeah.
You got Onana, and you don't have a backup goalkeeper, but you're using Dean Henderson at the moment, right? But wouldn't Dean Henderson be a good goalkeeper for you guys?
Depends on whether he's committed as well. If you look at the early stages of last season as well, what he said about Eric Ten Hag, that was slightly out of context and also really disrespectful from the football point of view. I think with Henderson, without a doubt, he's a decent goalkeeper for maybe a top level club, maybe the top 6 club potentially, but not for a top club. Not for necessarily top 4 club. But
you said top 6, right? We're not top 6, so
we don't count anymore.
Yeah, we don't count anymore.
But obviously, traditionally, historically, you are, but that is true. If you look
historically, doesn't count too.
Not anymore. Like this season, Hardy, where do you expect Tottenham to finish then? If you,
I mean, that's the question. I could see you guys finishing around about 8th or 7th, maybe getting Conference League. I'd say if you do finish higher, hats down to Angie Postecoglou. If he does that, that'd be absolutely great season if he can actually get a top 4 position. Or maybe miraculously win the Premier League title, but I highly doubt that's going to happen, of course. But you never know with the Premier League nowadays. I think with Tottenham,
Premier League, we know it's M-Cities, right? It's all sold up.
I mean, we're just participating in the City.
We're just going to get the medal. That's all, right?
I thought I'd ask Hardy a quick question on this. So, as you know, Spurs made a new captaincy because Lloris is going and Kane obviously left. Obviously, our club captain, that was Heung-min Son. Our backups, that's not the right word. Our vices are Maddison and Romero. Were you surprised that Spurs picked Son as a club captain or not? From an outside perspective,
I wasn't really surprised, but I knew this would be the case after all, considering that he's probably the second longest serving player at club, or probably the third longest serving player. I think with Son. Given the fact that he's new captain, I think it's very odd to actually give him the captaincy. Is he leadership material? Can he be an inspirational captain? Can he be really driven? And can he push you guys to win trophies? I don't really think so. I think Cristian Romero, he would have been my ideal fit in my opinion.
I was people would disagree with me, but because we have so many limited options about captaincy, I would have went and bought an experienced centre half and put him as captain, but we didn't do that. I was in. This is a very unpopular opinion, by the way. Skip, someone like Skip, because at least he was like a Tottenham boy, and he started in the first game. I know he didn't do very well, but someone like that is what I would more lean towards, or someone in the middle of the park. But unfortunately, it's like the centre halves. Romero was obviously given the vice. And I think his captaincy can kind of go either way. Like he could be really successful, really bad. And Van der Ven's literally just walked in. So it's like our options are quite limited. Would you have picked someone different? Hardeep? Like, is there a name you would have thought? Because a lot of people are saying Basuma or Madison.
I'd say probably Romero.
Romero. As the captain. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give my point of view on this captain thing, right? If you watch that interview you watch the video when Ange actually announced Son being captain, actually he said all of them should be leaders, right? But I think, to tell the truth, what I believe is, okay, fair. You want to say loyalty and blah, blah, blah and all that, right? Son is loyal, right? Saudi League did come for him, right? And he did stand up and say that I ain't going anywhere. He was clear, right? And to tell the truth, he has showed his loyalty for this club for so many years. I mean, giving him the captaincy, if you want to see the captaincy as a certain kind of brand to bring the club forward, to bring the team to win things and all that, look at all our old captains. What have they done in the past 10 years, 15 years? None of them brought us nothing, right? So we're back to square one again. But at least, right, give it to Son now. Let me have a chance, okay? And to tell the truth, he's going to be there for another 1 or 2 more years, at least. The minimum, maximum. He's only 30 years old. So guys, cool it, right? Stop the Son hitting, right? Give him a chance.
Eugene, he was really bad on the weekend. So how can you keep persisting with him as captain?
No, it's nothing to do whether he was really bad. We don't even know whether he was fit. Richarlison was bad, right? To tell the truth, in the end, he was pulled off. Madison was given the captaincy, right? Maybe he might not even start in the Manchester United game because maybe his fitness isn't up to his par. Maybe he's still, guys. He had a double hernia surgery.
But why is he playing Eugene if he's that injured?
I don't know. Spurs do that to our players, don't you know? Right? Yeah. Richarlison is supposed to have a knock, right? Tell me, why was he playing?
Yeah, they were saying Richarlison was injured, but we had no other strikers.
Yeah, we had to play him. Why didn't we play Dane Scarlett up top? Why didn't we put Son in the middle and put Perisic on the left? I don't know, right? Spurs is so screwed up, right? We don't know what the hell half the time they're doing. And to tell the truth, it's all about Ange. Come on, guys. Give Son a chance, right? It's just the first game of the season. Like I said, it's still in preseason for me, right? He didn't do too well because, number one, Son is not playing the position Son is usually playing. You know what I'm saying? We buy players to play in a different, strength.
Son was playing in his position because he plays off the left.
No, he plays off the left, but on the wide left. He usually plays left more to the center, where he cuts in and shoots, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're expecting Son to be playing on the wide left and cross balls in. He's never done. That's not his forte. That's not his forte. That was Pochettino 5 years ago, bro. Now this Son now. You can't compare Son from then and now, right?
So I'm saying the only place I would put Son is up front. And obviously that's a gamble in itself, really, because we haven't seen him play that.
At least you put Son up front, right? Maybe he'll get to the balls. But the thing is, Son can't hit. He doesn't have the header ability. Maybe that's why he ain't put up front. But at the moment, as I see it, everyone deserves to get a chance under this new manager to play the ball that he wants, And Son being appointed the captain, maybe because his loyalty, maybe because of sentiment and all that. Fair, but
don't you think shirt sales play a part in that, Eugene, as well, though?
Of course, shirt sale plays a part in it, right? Harry Kane going to the preseason friendly in Asia. Yeah, what do you think? That plays a part in shirt sales too, right? Do you think
whose marketability as well? Whose marketability if you look at it from a commercial point of view, to exposure?
Yeah. And I think last farewell to all the Asian Spurs fans, right? So come on. Like you said, right, nowadays there are no more morals in football anymore. So money has to play a part, number one. But of course, like you said, maybe based on tenure, he's the last of the glam team that was in the Champions League final or something like that. He's the last man standing. Apart from Dyer, right? Dyer's going to be gone too, so I don't know.
Hopefully he goes.
Yeah,
hopefully he goes. Did you read the report this morning?
Would you rather have Dyer be the captain? Yeah, think about that, guys.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. You want Dyer as the captain? You get Dyer as the captain, and he ain't leaving, bro.
Make him captain, then sell him. Here's the captain.
Guys, I've actually got a question for you. For you. Sorry for interjecting. So
that's fine.
Uzi and Harry. In regards to Harry Kane, who do you exactly see actually replacing them? I mean, do you guys think possibly get a replacement?
Well, we looked with Gift Orban, Jonathan David, Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
The thing with Ivan Toney is there's two things that are good and two things that are bad. Two things that are good is obviously he's Premier League proven, and I think if he comes in, he'll score goals. The bad things are that I think on just based on what I've seen, if we're going to play the fluid front three, I don't think he really fits that way. And also, you're gonna have to wait till January to see him play. So,
Yeah.
but then he's the least of the gambles out of the names that have been given, like Jonathan David, who I'm not very keen on, and Gift Orban, who, if you watch the highlights and you see what he does, you think, oh, this guy's gonna be like amazing. But he's coming from the Belgian league, but then him on paper, because of his pace and because of this and that, I've been told he might be more suited to this formation and this manager, fluid front three, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't know how you replace Harry Kane, because you can't. I think you need 2 or 3 players to do that.
Yeah, you can't replace Harry Kane. Come on, you know that, right? Unless you go and get Osimhen or Mbappe or something.
We're gonna Mbappe or Osimhen.
Yeah, you got Mbappe or Osimhen. Then you say replacing Harry Kane, right? Maybe you getting a part-time substitute for that position. Then maybe, yes, like I said, maybe put Son in the center. But the thing with Gift is that what I hear is that we ain't gonna pay the money for him. So
yeah, why would I pay 30 million for him? It's just
if you want the player, you pay for it, right? Don't do a David Raya again. Don't do a David Raya again.
Do you think we'll sign a striker then, Hardeep? Do you think?
That depends really. If you've actually got the finances available, I think without doubt, if you do get that striker in, it could be Orban, in my opinion. I think you'll probably overpay. Yeah.
Have you seen him play at all or not? If you don't mind asking.
I've actually analysed his profile, but I've actually seen him play yet.
All right.
Okay.
I thought
I'm going to ask Hardeep this question, right? Hardeep, do you think we need a striker more, or do you think we need another centre back more?
No sense back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your defence is so diabolical. If you look at the goals conceded during the Brentford game, they could be prevented through adequate centre backs. If you had Romero or possibly Van der Ven available as well, I think that would have been ideal. And also with cover for Romero, that would be really, really good for you.
So we linked with like Tosin. I had to say it. Longley.
Oh yes.
Tosin.
Oh no.
Who's the other one? There's another one we linked with.
Tapsoba.
That's the one. Yeah.
Jonathan Tah as well.
No, not really. I think West Ham linked with.
No. Jonathan Tah is linked to West Ham at the moment. I think we were linked a bit to Mark Guehi, right?
Yeah, but he cost like 60, 70 million apparently. Jonathan Joachim Anderson, the other guy, plays at Palace with him.
Oh yes.
Ideally, for me, I want a Premier League centre half with experience. But we're going to find one, and that fits the pacey system. Because I could name like Lewis Dunk or something like that, but he's not fast enough probably to play the system.
Harry Maguire.
He's definitely not fast enough to play the system.
He's trying to tell us Harry Maguire, Harry. Harry's trying to tell us.
I'll give you Eric Dyer.
Yeah, we do a straight swap for Eric Dyer. We'll give you Maguire, right?
Yeah.
No chance.
So you keep Maguire, we keep Dyer for the time being.
I'd release him. I'd actually release him straight away. Well, that's my from my point of view. I'd do that.
But United could probably afford to pay the pay.
But how much is wages, right? 250.
Yeah, it's 250
per year.
That's a lot.
Which manager signed him? If you can remind me, Hardeep.
Social.
So sorry, got him.
Okay. Yeah, was it Mourinho, right?
Post Mourinho.
Yeah,
I know Mourinho fell out with Pogba.
80 million pounds from Leicester, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So
2 places.
Let's go through. So Hardeep, what's your United starting lineup, and what do you think? Even though you have your all one, right? What do you think they will play to? So you can give me the 2, and then we'll see.
Starting with you guys. I think ultimately, Vicario will start.
No. I mean your lineup, sorry, not ours. Yeah,
all right, sure. Yeah, I'll give on then. So obviously, I can see Onana starting. I think Delo, he might start ahead of Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, Delo could possibly start ahead of him. Centre backs will be Martinez and obviously Varane. Martinez is definitely still under consideration whether he is, but not as he's got a tendon issue, I believe. And left back will be Luke Shaw. In the midfield, I can see it being Casemiro, Mount, Bruno. Up front, I can see it being Sancho as false 9, Rashford on the left, and also Anthony left on the right side.
Yeah, because Anthony started against Wolves, didn't he? What would you do though? Is that the formation you want, or is that the formation you think the team he'll play?
You're going for 4-3-3 or 4-3-2-1?
It's usually a 4-2-3-1. That's what we have to play.
4-3-2-1.
And that's what I think will happen.
So you would go that side because you're pushing Sancho as a false 9. Now, why are you saying Sancho as a false 9? Sorry, because I'm not a massive Sancho fan. Like, is it because you don't have a striker, or like what was?
I think due to two factors as well: lack of strike and also that fluidity in the front three positions as well. I think with Sancho, he'll be really ineffective around the box as well. He could pull through defenders as well. He could possibly really be wriggled out there in the midfield. He could hold the ball. He's really patient. And I feel with United, that there will definitely be transitional with you guys having a majority of ball, being more expansive, and also being really aggressive in knowing where the goals are, and also attempting to actually score those opportunities. So that's how United are going to line up, in my opinion.
Interesting. I thought. Yeah. And Eugene, before I give my Spurs lineup, what's your Spurs lineup? What do you think he'll do?
Oh, my Spurs lineup: Vicario, and it'll be if Romero gets to play, right? Because I'm not sure whether he's passed his concussion protocols days and all that. Then it will most probably be Sanchez and VDV. If not, it'll be Romero, VDV in the center. And of course, Udogie on your left, and of course, your Emerson on your right. That's how I see it. Right? Because more or less, we have to be more defensive to a certain kind of way. Someone who can defend. In the middle, to tell the truth, I will play. I won't stick Lascelles so early. I'll go with Bissouma, Sarr, and Madison. Right. I don't think Skippy performed too well, so it was a bit missing in action in the Brentford game. Didn't see much of him, right? And I'll give you a surprise, guys. Right? If Son and Richie ain't up to 100%, if they got niggles, if they're knocks, right? I'll put Solomon on the left, right, and Dane Scarlett up front with Decky on the right. That's how I go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I go. Yeah.
It's going to segue to my next bit because we're going to have a discussion about this. Who's your front three? Because so for my front three is the same team as yours. That my front three is Richarlison in the middle, Perisic on the left, and Porro on the right. That's what I would do because I just want someone to put in crosses for Richarlison, right? So Porro.
But the thing is that if there's a rumor coming out that they got knocks and they're not 100%, right? Why play them at all? We
don't have a choice. We didn't sign a striker.
We must try something different. We can't always make the excuse that we don't have a choice, right? And not give players who are at 100% fitness to go out there and do something. Always put in players with 50%, 60%, 70% fitness, right? And no performance comes out with them, and then they get blamed. You get what I'm saying? Richie gets blamed, Son gets blamed, then we can't score, our defenders are scoring, and next thing, we miss Harry Kane.
Yeah,
that again.
We do miss Harry Kane, though.
Of course, we do miss Harry Kane. The whole world knows we miss Harry Kane.
Right? I think Hardeep knows from group chat how much pain I was in when Kane left.
Oh, you were definitely in so much pain. I actually really value that a lot.
Honestly, out of any Spurs player that's left Hardeep in my whole life, like this hurt the most, and it still does hurt.
I'll relate to you. I mean, when Ronaldo left as well, I was really fuming that he actually spoke about Eric Ten Hag, but deep down, I wanted it to work really well between them two.
When Ronaldo left the first time or the second time?
Yeah,
second time actually.
I know. But don't worry, Kane says he'll be back. So have some hope, Harry.
Maybe hopefully he'll come back on loan or something in 2 years.
Or maybe on a free deal.
Yeah,
on a free deal as well.
So to Hardeep, do you think he's going to win stuff in Bayern? I'm just asking because obviously the first game he lost 3-0.
That's the Charity Shield. That doesn't count, right? So, yeah. Now Friday we'll know. Tomorrow, I think Friday. Yeah, Friday we'll know. By Friday we'll know what Kane is doing in Bayern Munich and whether he's going to smack in the goals, right? So let's see how that goes. Yeah.
I think going to question, Harry. I think with Kane, without a doubt, I think he definitely has the potential to win some significant trophies at Bayern Munich as well. The Bundesliga, the Champions League, Deutsche Pokal, Deutsche Supercup Cup as well. I think with Kane, depends on his consistency mentality. His rating finals in terms of domestic competitions is quite poor. So ultimately, it'll be down to Kane to actually prove that. And also, it's team sport overall. You're not an individual. You focus on being a team.
That's true. Yeah.
So
but I think for Kane, right, the big prize for him will be the Champions League. That's what he should be going for. Right. I mean, the Bundesliga and whatever, the Polka and all that should be an easy peasy kind of scenario for him. Right. So, but hard to say, right? But he has to learn his German first. So.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you look at his language in terms of communication in Germany currently, he needs to prove that respectfully. He does.
Yeah, for all you know, right, he'll be a much better communicator in German.
Oh, he will actually. He will actually.
Yeah.
So do you think Kane's going to really transform Bayern Munich and they're going to suddenly be like where they were back 2-3 years ago? Because I have to admit, Bayern are not the same team they were 2-3 years ago. And do you think it was because I was the opinion that if I was Harry Kane, I would have sat on my contract for a year and gone to Man United or Chelsea the season after. That's what I would have done. And obviously, I think Levy must have pushed him eventually to go not to an English side. That's probably what happened. Partly, I think. Do you think the Bayern move is a good move for him, like in terms of his career? In terms of like, could he have gone somewhere else, or in a year's time, would you have done that? Or because obviously I mentioned United, and obviously we've had a lot of talks about United before, but do you see him coming back to England to United instead of Tottenham, for example?
It depends on whether he can actually thrive in Bundesliga and lead domestic competitions with Bayern Munich. If you look at Tuchel as well, Tuchel's proven a great tactician. He's actually well renowned for playing mid-block formation, cross with five at the back, and maybe forward back, and also with the ability to transition ball competently and intelligently with Tuchel. He's really, really good manager for Harry Kane in terms of what he actually expects in terms of winning. I think Kane ideally, if he does actually come back, it might be coming back after 4 or 5 seasons.
You think? Oh, so you think he'll stay 4 years in Germany?
Yeah,
3 years. 4 years. Yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think he'll transition to a deeper playing player? Because I've always thought this about Kane. He'll transition into like a midfielder, or for like eventually just a number 10, or even deeper, like with Rooney did at United. That's what I thought I'd ask you that question, because in Rooney's later career, didn't he transition playing in midfield even? Yeah.
Yes, he did. I mean, if you look at his age range from 29 to around about 35, Rooney actually transitioned to an actual central attacking midfielder. I think with Harry Kane, he's got the adaptability and also intelligence, like I mentioned, great versatility to play as probably number 10. But if he slowly loses place and declines, he could possibly actually be readjusted as number 10.
Interesting. Okay, because I do think he's, which is why a lot of Spurs fans are saying, oh, he's not worth the money, but as in, because I was the opinion, right, I would have taken 86 million plus add-ons for Kane because he had a year left, and I thought that was a reasonable fee. Obviously, we got higher in the end, but I thought that a lot of fans were kind of being, partly because obviously they're sad that Kane's going, but being like bitter or something. Oh well, Kane, no point signing Kane on a 4-year deal because in 2-3 years he'll be like finished because he's slow and blah blah blah. But if you're being honest, Kane, because he doesn't rely on his pace, I think he has longevity in the game in terms of he can play further back eventually, like we'll talk about now. And I just think, do you think Spurs fans have just been bitter? Saying
yeah,
well?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's just being bitter.
Because I just thought it was like, why are you saying this thing? He can't last longer. It seemed like Bayern Munich. I'm like, this guy can play, which is what I think.
He won't last long. I'll tell you the truth. I already envisioned, right, that Kane would leave on the last Friday before the season start, right? I already envisioned that he'll go on a 3 to 4 year deal, and he'll most probably come back to Premier League because the number one, that for all you know, we could have a buyback clause that's not been told to us at the moment, right? And we haven't seen his contract. What there's no release. Our club don't tell us nothing, right? Spurs never says anything to us, right? And to tell the truth, the only thing I'm upset with this Bayern deal is that Levy should have actually put the price up early, right, in June, and said the price is £100 million. Give it to us, or leave him alone, right? Or this is the amount. But I think maybe because why he didn't do that, because maybe he wanted to test the water, right? Because there were news out there to say that Bayern doesn't know what's the amount that Levy will let him go for, right? We just keep putting money, bidding, and prolong the whole thing until 3 days before the season starts, and then he accepts the bid all of a sudden, right? Or maybe it's all just a long plan drawn out to make the drama, the show, right? So at least Spurs fans can make more content.
That's what it felt like. We talk about Harry Kane every day.
Every day we talk about Harry Kane. To tell the truth, in the first 2 weeks of June, when nothing was done, I said, I'm bored. I ain't going to talk about it. It's a waste of time, right? because this is we know it's some kind of smokescreen PR kind of thing. Harry Kane is gonna leave. Deep down inside, I know the Harry Kane ain't gonna stay because number one, Levy ain't gonna let a 90 million pound asset, right, walk away for free. That's one thing. All right, the money counts first. Okay, the only thing is that how long this drama will play out, and then it played out until the 3 days before the season starts. It is what it is. What Kane is going there for, and the worst part is, right, even on the day before he left, right, he was like stuck and delayed, not allowed to board the plane.
Yeah, that was so weird. It was
so weird. More drama, right? Harry Kane is at Stansted Airport in the hangar, sitting there waiting for the private plane to arrive, or the private plane has already arrived. He's waiting for the green light from Spurs to let him board the plane. More drama, right? In the end, he boarded the plane and he went over to Germany. All I can say is good luck, Harry, right? Please win 3 trebles and come back. If you don't come back to Spurs,
just don't go back to Arsenal.
Don't go to Chelsea.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. No, for all you know, guys, it could be something. It might turn out in a scenario like this, right? In 3 years' time, right? Haaland might want to move to Real Madrid, right? And if Kane is still at that level, right? Or you know, Pep will still want him
for like a year or 2, maybe. Yeah.
I'm not sure even Pep will still be there then.
I think Pep will give 2 more years at City, and then he's off. Hopefully,
I think Pep will be going to PSG quite soon. That's how I see it.
PSG, you think?
Yeah, I think Pep will go to PSG. Yeah,
interesting.
Or maybe Italy. If you look from Serie A point of view, he hasn't gone to Serie A yet.
Hadib, there's no money there.
That's true.
There's no money there.
So you get what I'm saying, right? There's no money. They ain't going there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's trying to blow grease and also his actual own expectations. Yeah.
To be fair though, I think Italy's not a bad shout because he's been to Germany, he's been to Spain, he's been to England. I mean, where else is there left? So maybe Italy's the next stop. I don't know.
There's no money there. Pep can't go there and build something without money. Remember that? He needs his 50, 60 million pound player, 5 to 6 of them every season turnaround. And whenever he goes to a new team, right, he needs to spend at least £500 million to £1 billion to establish a team, like what MCT has now. MCT has spent at least £1.5 billion on the squad, right? But they have slowly established the squad. They got 2 World Cup, 2 elite squad of players of 11, right? Or maybe 24 players, right? Where he can now rotate. He doesn't mind selling or letting them go, and he gets in another 60-70 million pound player.
Yeah, he just lets every 2 or 3 players.
He sells Sterling for 40 million pounds to Arsenal.
Chelsea.
No, he buys Kovacic from Chelsea. Who was the other guy that he sold to Arsenal last season? Right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Zinchenko and Jesus. Yeah. Right. So in that deal, he's got like 80 million back. Right. So he's got that well-oiled machine going around. I think Pep now his target is the quad. That's all I think. Yeah, he wants the
quadruple.
Once he gets the quad, right? And he's got the ultimate.
I'd just retire if I ever did that. I'd just retire.
Right? No, he won't retire. He'll go to PSG. Right? He'll go to PSG. Do another 4 years there, right? Then he'll take over Spain.
Oh, that's a good way to end the career, Spain.
Yeah, you have to take over Spain, go to the World Cup. Right?
That's a good point, actually. I didn't think of that. Yeah. So match predictions. Hardeep, you go first. Score predictions and like who do you think is going to score? I guess I don't know. How do you think this game's going to go?
That's the question. I mean, it's going to be a really interesting game in terms of intensity and how both teams are going to play. Ultimately, I feel the atmosphere will determine the result. I could see it being a 1-1 draw between Tottenham and United. I could see Bruno scoring and possibly Son scoring as well.
Interesting. Do you think you guys will take the lead, or we'll take the lead, or what do you think?
I think we'll take the lead, then you'll definitely equalise, and then we'll just cancel each other out by scoring opportunities, and also lacking that clinical edge in front go. But who knows?
Eugene?
To tell the truth, I think it'll be a 2-2 draw, right? We get another 2-2 draw, right? Because our defense suck, right? And I'm not sure about how good your defense is at the moment because you did have quite a lot of shakes during that Wolves game, right? Maybe, but the problem is that we don't have that clinical striker at the moment. So that's my biggest fear. But hard to say. If I say 2-2, right, most probably Dane Scarlett will score a brace.
Dane Scarlett will score a brace?
Yeah, if he plays. Yeah. Because I don't think Son and Richie should play at this juncture if they are still injured and all that.
But we'll play them, right?
I don't want to. I don't know. Hard to say. Let's see whether Ange got some cojones there.
Yeah. To put Scarlett in.
Yeah. I'm saying that.
So
if you're not fit, you don't play, right? That's what I'm saying.
I think I'm most probably the most negative person on here, but I think United are going to beat us 2-1. I just think they have too much for us, and United are 1 or 2 years ahead of where we are really. I think people like Rashford and just the pace United have, I think, will cause us a lot of problems, especially because I expect us to have more possession in this style we're playing, and we missed too many chances. So I think United will just hit us on the break, and it'll be like Ferguson 2.0, where we used to dominate possession in those games and then not score, and then United would score like a hatful of goals.
Especially grabs. Especially grabs. Yeah.
I mean, Rashford, I think, nailed on he'll score, I think.
Yeah, but guys, I've also got a question for you. It's actually in regards to Mickey van der Ven. So obviously with him scoring an own goal in your opening game, do you still have high hopes for him to actually become that great centre back?
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Vertonghen, actually, a lot. His style, he's got mad pace as well, and he's got the physique, like he's tall. I think he'll grow into the role, and I think for a first game he actually did all right. I know he's got the own goal, but it wasn't really his fault, if I'm being honest.
It was the whole defense fault, right? How can you leave a player standing up and
unfortunately, Hardeep obviously had Sanchez next to him. Ideally, I wanted us to sign another centre half. Just kind of I know everyone will see this Van der Ven Romero partnership as like a long-term thing, but ideally, especially in this early stage of especially Van der Ven's development coming into this Premier League, I think we need to play another centre half with like massive experience, not like a Tosin, not like a Longley, like a proper Premier League centre half with experience, alongside either Van der Ven or Romero. So not playing them both together, maybe both together in the cups or something, but I'd rather see someone like tutor him. I don't know if that's the right word, or tutor him or help him settle into the side, rather than have Romero, who's a loose cannon, next to him.
No, he can't be a loose cannon anymore. He's a vice captain.
He's still going to be loose cannon.
We'll see. Now, to tell the truth, right? VDV. To tell the truth, he only had about 2 or 3 training sessions with us before he was thrown in the deep end. So I would give him, I think 2 or 3 training sessions because he was bought like how many days before the games was played?
3
right?
days, I think. 2-3 days.
3 days before the game was played. So I guess we'll have to give him some time. Positioning wise, maybe he wasn't on par because you just knew that, right? And then like what Harry is saying, right? You got Sanchez, right? And Sanchez positioning was off, and of course Emerson Royal's positioning was off. And to tell the truth, our whole bloody defense positioning was off. That's why they scored that second goal. So, Spurs defense, it is what it is, right? So we only have, like I said, you can't go any lower than load. So there's only one way you can do is look up.
Sorry, true.
I'll put it this way: we look better already without Dyer there. So, like,
oh, Harry, please don't make a joke about him, right? If he ends back starting in that game, I tell you.
But why would he come back? Because I'd rather see Sanchez, and that says a lot.
For all you know, all of a sudden Sanchez will have a knock, right? Romero can't play because of concussion. Then we end up with VDV and Dyer. Oh dear.
But this is what I'm trying to say, is that this is why I would try pushing for, say, someone like, this is a very unpopular opinion, by the way. Someone like, I know Bonucci doesn't fit the system because he's too slow, but even someone like an Otamendi, of course he signed a new contract at Benfica, he ain't going to come now. But just someone with experience to come in and help set these.
They don't fit the Ange ball kind of thing. Because Ange presses up so high, they can't get back.
Does Otamendi have pace? Or am I wrong?
How many times can he go up and down like that, right?
That's the question. So next pace.
Because obviously people were pitching the whole, we need to find a partner from Romero. So I was like, let's go look at some Argentinian centre halves that have experience, because I thought maybe we could fit someone that fits all the criteria.
Not all guys like that. You can't take 30-over-year guys to play the kind of system. You get what I'm saying?
The reason I bring this up, Eugene, is you look back, we did the same, and I think Spurs have gone full circle. I'm of this opinion. I was saying this last season, especially now even more. So when we had, I hate to bring this up, but when we had Arsenal Invincibles in 2004, and we had a very old side back then, and obviously they won at White Hart Lane, okay? And then Santini took charge of the team, if you remember this, Eugene. And we did we signed 10 players or something that summer, like Paul Robinson, Pedro Mendes, Sean Davis, Reto Ziegler, players like that. And they had a rebuild, right? And then obviously Joel took over Santini because Santini left. But we were kind of starting from square one, and we signed young players, etc. And it feels like the same to me. And what was very significant back then was we signed someone called Nuruddin Naybet. I don't know if you know who that is. But he's 37 from what nationality was he? Moroccan or something like that? Yeah. Can't remember. And he came in, and Ledley King always cites him as someone who was a huge factor in his development as a centre half. Because back then, Ledley King wasn't the Ledley King everyone remembers him as. He was at the beginning of that.
That was a different kind of style of football. You know, they didn't press up that high, and the type of ball that King didn't have pace either. You get him, But the problem is King didn't have pace because he can't run that fast because of his knee. You get what I'm saying?
But the thing with King, he could read the game.
But the thing you read the game. But the problem now with our edge ball, right? The defenders are so high up, they need the speed to cover.
But we need an fast experience in the half if that exists.
That's why you have to look for someone with not tremendous speed, but at least with some speed, right, in the center half to at least give a chase. I need
someone with experience.
With experience, with experience. You can't take
30 plus.
Mendy, Bonucci, these guys are way beyond. It's like you're asking Harry Kane to do the 100-meter dash. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the kind of speed. If you're looking about someone within the range of maybe 26, 27, 28, right, hitting the peak with a bit of speed in them.
I mean, Laporte is the one everyone talks about.
Laporte would be another. Yeah,
Laporte is going to the Saudi now again.
So. He ain't coming to Tottenham, though. That's the thing. Laporte ain't coming to Tottenham.
Yeah, my boy ain't coming to Tottenham.
About, is it Molina? Is Molina the Argentine?
Oh, yes. Is it Federico Molina? Yeah.
Because maybe he played Romero before. Because obviously everyone was saying we need a partner from Romero. So I was doing research about someone who's got experience to calm him down. And then who was also some sort of partnership. Because obviously we had Jan and Toby, right? They had a partnership from even before they came to Spurs at Ajax and for Belgium. So it was very easy when Toby came that they just fit. Yeah. But it's very hard to repeat that sort of partnership again, is it really? So
that's true.
No, but the problem is that partnerships needs time to develop too, Harry. It's just not overnight you're going to get that click, right? Very, very seldom you get two players overnight they're going to click. Because maybe Jan and Toby, because they played in the national team.
I'm saying they played so much together before. It's very hard.
Yeah, they really have an understanding there. And to tell the truth, right, we ain't buying 2 or 3 Argentinian players, right? We really got 2 on the squad, 3 actually at the moment, right? With Lo Celso, right? Yeah, we got Lo Celso, Belize and Romero, right? So, but we never know what's going to happen to Lo Celso. But in the end of the day, I guess we will have to wait and see, right? Transfer window ain't closing so soon, right? You still got another 14 days, so. 14, 15 days time. So maybe the Hurricane money is spent. You ain't getting any more players in. Don't get your hopes up high.
Well, I was told that we want a centre half, number 6 and a striker.
Yeah, but if you can get rid of Dyer, who else are there? The 8 players.
There's a long list. Regulon, Dyer,
Sanchez,
Lloris. I think Sanchez might stay.
Yeah, Sanchez has been pulled off the list. Yeah, Sanchez has been pulled. I think it's what now? Dyer, Regulon, Sessegnon. Tanganga
still here, He's not on the list when I looked.
He's on the list. Yeah, I think they're trying to get rid of him. Yeah, he's on the list. He's injured. Who wants him? Right? Brian Hill. Right? There's so many of them. Brian Hill. Who else? Lloris.
I think I read we need to get rid of 9 players. Højbjerg or something. Yeah.
Højbjerg. Who else? Yeah. There's a list of 8 of them.
But no one wants them. I mean,
that's why I'm saying our players are so bad, right? Even the Saudi league don't want them.
That's true. Same with us as well. If you come from Maguire's point of view, nobody from the Saudi League.
Why doesn't someone from the Saudi League want Maguire?
Why did the Maguire deal fall through, Hardeep? Because I don't even know.
His wages and also the compensation we need to pay. We apparently need to pay around about £7 million Lloris bonus for him. If you look at it from the wage point of view. Yeah.
So you get 7 million for moving from United?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow, I wish I was Harry Maguire.
No. Wait. If he leaves now, he gets 7 million royalty bonus. If he leaves later, they'll still have to pay the 7 million loyalty bonus, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Or is there not? Is there like a time thing, or is it just?
No. The longer you stay, the more loyal you are.
Yeah.
Because there's another player I was reading that if he stayed by a certain time, the club, I can't remember who it was. The club had to pay him a certain amount, like a loyalty bonus.
That's the loyalty bonus. That means you stay more than how many months, right? I mean, how many years? You know, it's like your tenure.
Who was I reading about? There's a player I was reading about that said, he didn't
want
to leave by this date because he misses his loyalty bonus.
Was it someone in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think so.
In Europe.
Someone we were linked with, and I was like, what? He will stay till that date, so he gets a loyalty bonus, and he doesn't come till later on.
Yeah. I can't remember who is that. I think it was one of our players, right? Yeah. Something to do loyalty bonus.
It'll come to my head eventually, and then when we finish.
I remember the manager was supposed to come, that because of taxes he couldn't come, and we didn't want to pay his taxes. Yeah, what's the guy's name?
Redknapp.
Fonseca.
Tax evasion.
Remember Fonseca?
Yeah.
Before
God.
That
when we were chasing managers,
we were chasing managers. 70 days without manager or something like that. Yeah.
And just the last segment before we finish the stream, leave you out protest, or is it leave you out protest or
okay, there'll be two protests. Okay, one is a protest. 1 p.m. outside the club shop, the normal place, right? There will be a leave you out protest. Then there will be a Levy dissatisfaction demonstration in the stadium because of ticket price. That is done in collaboration with the Levy Outers and the Tottenham Hotspur supporters.
Yeah. So, do you think that'll have any impact on the game?
Oh,
no, I gave them an idea. These protesters should join the 1958 group, right, and make it a big thing in the stadium. So let's see whether that happens or not.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Because there's going to be a glazer out protest in the stadium anyway.
You know what? Last time we played United, they were beating us, and there was a louder glazer out protest than bloody Tottenham protest.
Yeah,
like your fans were mad, not mad as in a bad way. They were like all game, like we want glazers out, we want glazers out. I was so loud, and there's more of us, and we're quieter than you.
Yeah, we want ENIC out. We want ENIC out. We want leave it out. We want leave it out.
It's not enough for us.
The thing is that the stadium should just shout, right? We want glazers out and ENIC out.
Keep on shouting for us as well.
All of them should be shouting together at the same time, right? So let's see whether that collaboration comes to fruition.
Do like a song
agreement that they are absolutely incompetent and they are really, really bad for our clubs.
Oh yeah, and to tell the truth, right? I just want to ask Hadi, what happened to the sale?
Yeah, I was going to ask this. You took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
The thing is, right now, the sell process has now been paused due to the owners wanting more money. I think ultimately, I could see a decision happening by the end of the year. I think Qatar would definitely take over. I can't see Jim Ratcliffe overtaken done from a financial point of view,
but I thought didn't the Qatari put a limit to this price? Right? They said 6 billion max or something like that.
Yeah. I think with Sheikh Jassim, he actually bid around £6 billion, nearly towards around £6.5 billion.
Yeah. And so I think there's a problem with you guys is because Sir Jim Ratcliffe is coming in with lower bid, right?
Yes, for majority investment.
Yeah, but not for taking over the whole club, but just for a majority share or something. And the Glazers will still have some minority holdings in the club, right?
Yes, and also
yeah,
and also to add, Eugene, if that were to happen, the majority of our shareholders will actually sue against this actual process. So if it actually happens, then Radcliffe will actually be sued. Simple as that. It's clearly detrimental. If Radcliffe were to happen, could definitely change the complexity of the Premier League from a financial and also ownership point of
view. I don't know, but I know no one wants to pay Levy £10 billion to buy our club, so it is what it is.
£10 billion.
If Bill Gates or anyone, Richard Branson, are you watching? Please go and buy Tottenham.
Most probably Richard
Branson.
Elon Musk? I don't know.
How about Apple though? Apple could buy a club.
Just anyone who has an ambition to see a football club succeed, please buy Tottenham.
But the sad part is our fans got no ambition, so it doesn't make any difference.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, Eugene, unfortunately, where I sit, because I sit West End, whenever I sing "Leave It Out," everyone looks at me like I just shot someone. So, see, me and my friend, who actually, ironically, was the one who who not convinced me to leave me out, but he showed me like the evidence back in 2012. And Louis Saha and Ryan Nelson was the last straw for me after that. I was like, I'm done. He sits above me, like sort of above me in the West. And he's like, if we shout Levy out, like we're gonna get into trouble. And we still do it. I still do it. I don't care. Like everyone just looks at me like I did something wrong.
But the South Stand is singing it. Why is the West Stand looking weird?
Oh, it's weird.
No, I'm singing it in the West Stand, but everyone looks. Really weird.
Why? I mean, the whole of the South Stand is singing it, right? And why is the West Stand, looking at you weird?
Because
right?
unfortunately, we have too many and days and
brown envelopes in the West Stand.
Yeah, they'll say, "Oh, well, the football's bad, oh this and that," but they'll.
I know they'll persist with
are you going to the match?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck.
Okay. I'm going to try and get to the protest, but it just depends how my day goes because I'm going out in the morning and I don't know what time I'm going to come back. And then I've got to go do something else and then hopefully I can get down there. But I don't know. Sometimes, Eugene, I don't make it till like just before kickoff because I've just got so much stuff going on sometimes. On a weekend, it's very hot. Like sometimes I can make it. Sometimes, right, I can go there to Spurs really early or I get there really late. It's 5:30, yeah.
5:30, okay.
Yeah. And to me, I don't know what because there's two protests, right? From like 1 till 5 o'clock. So it's like
no, 1 to 3 is outside the club shop, right? From then onwards, it moves into the stadium. So
really? So 1 to 3 into the club shop.
Quickly transitions in the stadium.
Transitions into protests.
No, the protest transitions into a demonstration.
Yeah.
Can't use the word protest in the stadium. Yeah.
You can't use the word protest with the trust. No, I don't think you can.
You can't use the word
even though it basically is one without saying it, I would say. But...
Right, I'll go look for Stella.
I'll get cancelled, guys. I'll get cancelled. Okay.
No, you won't get cancelled. It's just about demonstration and protest against your club. So nothing bad, right?
Yeah. And also expressing your own views, your own opinions, and also discontent against the ownership who are destroying your club. Simple as that.
It's not like honestly, I if I could, I would go to every protest. It's just that sometimes I go with like my family, and they like my dad's not really leave you out. I mean, he doesn't like what's going on, but will never say it. And my brothers, we get into arguments about Levy all the time, so they're not really Levy out. So if I go to a game by myself, 100% I'll be at the protest. But otherwise, it ends up being an argument in the car for like an hour. My dad's like, "Why are you doing this? It's not worth your time." Blah blah, and I'm just like, "No."
Something's be done somewhere, right? Because I can't be there because I'm 8,000 miles away, right? And the plane ticket's too expensive now. So one of these days I'll be there for the protest.
In September, 100% I probably could get down to a protest, I think. But like today, it's going to be a commission. Like honestly, if I can get down there, I'll try like my best to try and escape and get down there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
Try our best.
I'll be shouting "Leave out" in the stadium, 100%.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
no wonder whenever you shout "Levy out" in the stadium, right? The fans look at you funny because those are your parents.
No, my dad just laughs. He's like,
your dad just laughs.
You're wasting your time.
He's not my son, okay? He's not my son, right? Like that.
He's like, you're wasting your time. But I've been leaving out since 2012, and it's just that until YouTube, or even the first protest I went to was 2021 in the summer. That's when Stell gave me a lift home from Tottenham away. That's when I first discovered like YouTube stuff. But I've been to like maybe 4 or 5, I think, something like that. Yeah. So I went to training ground one once, and then I went to like another one before. Who were we playing? Was it actually before United? I don't know. Maybe there was another one in midweek I went to. Then one on the weekend game.
Yeah, the midweek one was the United one, right? That one had quite a good turnout. That was after
I went to that one. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
After the 5-1 humping by Newcastle, then that's when the whole family.
I was at that one. I was at that one. Yeah. So I try to get down as much as I can, but yeah. But Hardy, before we go, anything you want to say?
I'd say big up to Harry and also Eugene for this fantastic content. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Also, guys, if you do want to catch me, I'm actually on Instagram at HC United Stand, all lowercase. That's speaking for me. Also, if you want to follow my personal account on Instagram, it's HSAD17, all lowercase as well. Too bad. If you do want to follow me on Twitter, it's #WMFC, all lowercase. And also catch me on All Talks Football, where I talk all things about United, host all content in terms of the Premier League, the Champions League, even from an international point of view. So you can catch us there as well. We're approaching towards 500 subscribers. And also, mental health's really important. Be ambitious, be focused, don't lose that determination, and never ever give up. Be yourself. Big up.
Yeah. And Eugene, we're going to find you next.
You can find me on Spurs Vision TV, right? I think I'm the only Spurs channel in Malaysia at the moment. Maybe I'll find a few more of them this
How about
Saturday.
Elias? Elias as well? Or
Elias, yeah. Elias is...
Sorry, I say Elias.
Elias is one of them, right? But he's not Malaysian, but I am.
All right, so because you always mentioned him on the stream.
Yeah, Elias is in Malaysia, but he's not Malaysian. But he's Pakistani by descent, but I'm Malaysian. So, but I'm trying to get Danny Rose up and close and personal with Danny Rose this Saturday. Maybe I'll do a short video with him and post it up because Danny Rose is in Malaysia at the moment, right? So we'll be having get together lunch with him on Saturday. Nice. So maybe I'll be able to get something up if I get permission to have a Levy out talk with him.
I mean, hopefully you can actually get authorization for that as well. That'd be really interesting content.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let me see how that goes. I'm planning something. Let's see how that goes. Right.
Does Rose work for the club or something now, or am I wrong?
Who?
Does Rose work for the club or something or not?
No. Rose was thrown aside. His contract was he was cold storage. He had to play with under 23s until his contract ended, and then he ended up with Watford. Remember?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, but did he not come back to train or something with us?
I'm not sure about that, right? But let's see how it goes. That's why let's see. Get a feeling to it. I'm not sure, but I guess he's coming on a Spurs capacity, right? Brought out, but let's see how far he can go on talk. But of course, beyond that, I'm thinking of doing a show this week, doing the preview and review show right on Spurs Vision TV. I'm not sure whether it'll be done tomorrow or Friday. If Friday I have time, I'll try to get it up, get a few guests on, have a little bit banter between the club fans and all that, and hopefully maybe we can find some Manchester United fan to join us. Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
All right. If for some crazy reason I end up being on the show, I'll message you. But for me, you'll find me at Hasbro TV, so please subscribe. I do daily videos now, so every morning you'll see a video from me about fixing Tottenham because it's come to the point where no one's going to rebuild Tottenham. Let's try and do it. So this morning's video is about Kulusevski because I believe he should be converted to a number 10 if he's going to survive in this system. So go check that out. My next stream, I'll be on View from the South tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock with Has. So it's a Has versus Has show, or Has show, however you want to say it. So everyone's calling for us to do it, right? So we end up, it's a weekly thing now. So it's a call-in show. So if you want to come in as well, if you're free, or if any United fans are watching this or watch this afterwards and want to come on, please go to that channel, and we should have the link in the description as normal because it'll be probably like a call-in show. And on Friday, I'll be on View from the South at the same time. This was 5:30, so takeover every Friday now. Preview for the weekend game. I think Traps is coming on, and if Eugene, I don't think you want to come on. Traps, if you guys don't know, he's a brilliant person to have on. Very fiery. It'll be very fiery chat for sure. And he's brilliant though. Honestly, Traps, big up to Traps. So, and then on Saturday, I'll be on View from the South post match, most likely as well. So I'll be at like 7, 8 o'clock. I don't know when the match finishes. So it's 5:30, like probably 8:30, 9 o'clock or something like that. Yeah. And on Sunday, I think me and Eugene will be back streaming to a review of the game, probably. So you basically have me all for the rest of the week.
That's good. Yeah. And I give you a suggestion, right, for you how to fix Tottenham. The next video said, bring a match inside there and burn it down.
Okay. I'm just trying to focus on, like, with the players we have, what can we do? I mean, I'll probably do a video tomorrow about, I don't know, fixing Son or something. I don't know. Because Son is like a massive discussion right now about the captaincy, and obviously we know some Spurs fans take it very personally when it comes to Son. And I was on a stream yesterday with Danny and Thiago, and we were just being very brutal about Son and saying, we don't agree with the captaincy, and we think if you're going to play Son, you've got to play for in the middle now. Because, and to be fair, just closing on Son, Son's best performance, in my opinion, last season was in the Cup when he played in the middle. I can't remember who it was against. We're playing away from home. He scored 2 goals. And I think this comparison to me is when Bale came back to Tottenham. He couldn't really play like with the pace, but he was great as like a finisher. and I kind of wish we played him through the middle a lot, or a bit more. And I think Son is kind of the same sort of comparison because he's got, as a finisher, he was brilliant. Bale was always brilliant as a finisher, and they both had relied on pace, but to transition into a middle player is probably the best thing. Like with Ronaldo, I guess, and other players like that. Yeah. So let's hope we can get some goals out of him as he goes into the middle.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything before I close the stream?
Well, I'd say Glazer as well.
Yeah. You want to leave you out or Glazers out?
Both.
How about both of them out? Both of them out.
Yeah. Okay.
Not some Enoch.
All right. And come on, you
okay,
Spurs.
Come on, United.
I was like, really?